G'day and welcome back to Wharf Talk. I'm JB and this is your pre-derby episode. We have a lot of ground to cover before Friday night, so let's get into it. First, the 32nd version of round 19. Fremantle 15 goals, 13, 103. Port Adelaide 11 goals, 975. We covered the comeback in full last week, so all you need today is the ledger, 16 and 2. 3 games clear on top. Everything else this episode moves forward. Now, Justin Longmuir's post-match message was not a victory lap, despite the win. He said the group is not yet the finished product. He said some players expected the game to fall into Fremantle's preferred style without doing the hard contest work first. A pointed observation after an away win. What it tells us is that the internal standard sits higher than the scoreboard, and the derby on Friday is the first chance to respond from the opening bounce. Longmuir is not asking them to win. He is asking them to be ready from minute one. Remember that framing, we will come back to it. On the injury front, a few fringe players are managing niggles, but the one that matters is Jaeger O'Meara. He left the Port game with ice on his ankle after it got caught in a tackle. No confirmed timeline at the time of recording, so check the official club report and I will have any update on the socials before Friday. Right, derby history time, because this fixture deserves the full treatment and there is some brilliant material here that younger fans may never have heard. Western Derby number 1, 14th of May 1995 at Subiaco Oval. West Coast won it by 85 points. They then took the first 9 meetings before Fremantle finally broke through in July of 1999. A 47-point win where Tony Modra kicked 6. 9 straight losses before the first victory. A rough way to start a rivalry. It gets better eventually, but nothing touches the demolition derby of 2000 for sheer chaos. West Coast had already beaten Fremantle by a record 117 points earlier that season, with Scott Cummings kicking 10 goals. So heading into the round 21 rematch, both clubs were playing it cool. Publicly, everyone was trotting out the classic line, it's only worth 4 points, just another game. Sure it is. A halftime brawl cleared both benches. Dale Kickett copped 9 matches. Michael Gardner and Brad Dodd got 2 each. A dozen more players were fined, only worth 4 points, remember. And then Fremantle went out in the last quarter, kicked 6 goals to 3 and won by a single point. Clive Waterhouse finished with 7. 1 point, only our second ever derby win. That game is the emotional bedrock of this fixture. Fast forward to 2011, Hayden Ballantyne set shot after the siren 50 metres out in an angle to win the derby. He watched it fly, decided it was through and started celebrating. The ball had other plans. It hit the post. West Coast won by 1, 8 goals, 17, 65 to 9 goals, 10, 64. Somewhere out there is footage of a man celebrating a point. Football is a cruel game and this fixture might be its cruelest stage. Then 2018, round 20. Andrew Gaff struck first-year Docker Andrew Brayshaw off the ball and broke his jaw. Gaff got 8 matches and missed West Coast's Premiership run. And Brayshaw is now the leading disposal winner in our midfield and one of the faces of this club, walking into Friday's derby as a flag favourite. From a broken jaw as a first-year player to leading the best team in the competition into a derby. Take a moment on that one, it deserves it. After that came the dark years. West Coast won 11 consecutive derbies from August 2015 to August 2021. 11 straight, the longest streak in the history of the fixture. Since then, the whole thing has flipped. Fremantle's record 101 point demolition in 2023, where West Coast managed their lowest ever derby score of 4 goals, 9, 33. 9 wins from the past 10 meetings. 4 in a row right now. A few bits of derby lore worth having in your back pocket. Matthew Pavlich holds the records for most derbies played, 34, and most derby goals, 61. The Glendinning Allen Medal is named for the inaugural captains, Ross Glendinning of West Coast and Ben Allen of Fremantle. And a trivia gem for your next quiz night. The only derby ever played outside Perth was an October 2005 exhibition at the Oval in London. Fremantle won it in front of nearly 19,000 people, which was then a record crowd for Australian football in England. Yes. We have won a derby on another continent, and Caleb Sarong, 13 Brownlow votes from 10 derbies, the best per game average of any player in the history of the fixture. He owns this rivalry. Now, I need you to hear me clearly on one thing. Do not get comfortable. The One Eagles win in recent memory is an exact blueprint for how Friday goes wrong. April 2024, West Coast came in at 1-4. Fremantle was 3-2 and considered a certainty. West Coast kicked the first 7 goals, led by 60 64 points at the last change, won by 37. And the bloke who lit it up, Harley Reid, 3 goals, 19 disposals, 7 clearances in his 6th game of AFL football at 19 years old. Last Saturday, Reid finished with 23 disposals and 10 clearances as West Coast led the reigning premiers by 21 points early before Brisbane kicked 6 straight in the third quarter to take over. This Eagles side is not the rabble. Fremantle beat by 56 in April. They are competitive, they play hard, and in a derby, ladder position means nothing. Reid has his own story this week too. His 2025 season ended with an ankle injury suffered in last year's derby against Fremantle. Friday is almost exactly a year on from that moment. His first derby, he kicked 3 goals and nearly stole the medal. His second derby ended his season. He arrives on Friday with something to prove and the clearance numbers to back it up. He is the most dangerous emotional variable on the ground, and how Fremantle plans for him is the key tactical question of the week. At the other end, Jake Waterman kicked 5 goals against Brisbane last week, and with Ruben Ginbey out for around 7 weeks, the Eagles lose the defender who held Josh Treacy to a single goal in April. The forward defensive battle just tilted our way. One more thing before we go, and it is a big one. The fixture has never in 62 meetings been played as a final. Never. Not once in 31 years. It will not happen this September either, because a finals derby needs both clubs there. But file it away. The day West Coast climbs back and these two meet with a season on the line, that will be the biggest game ever played in this state. For now, the September story is all ours. 16-2, chasing just the second minor premiership in the club's history. Friday night, Optus Stadium, 6:10 Western Time. Fremantle should win. The models have us somewhere around 90%, but you just heard what happened in 2024. Start well, play 4 quarters, pass the exam, Longmuir set. And we are not done for the week. Teams drop Thursday night, so I will see you back here on Thursday with the full teams in hand. Sean, who comes in for O'Meara if he misses, what West Coast rolls out, and the final word before the bounce. Come on, you Dockers.